Alright, today we got a pretty cool video for you guys. We got some paint to try out. We've got some prototype paint from the Nelson Paint Company, which if any of you guys know your history, the Nelson Paint Company was the first company to invent the paintball. So they sent our park a box just kind of showcasing some of the paints that they're going to come out with. So I was asked to try it out. Not that we're going to switch to the paint, because we got our, we get all our stuff by key. We got an awesome deal with key for that. But I figured I'd try it out, and I figured I'd show you guys in case any of you guys see it and pick it up or want to pick it up for bring your own paint days, just to shoot in your backyard, anything like that, just to see how it actually handles. So we got our box, and I have with me the two papers, the list that they sent us. So, getting right to the point, they offer 6 different kinds of paint. I have with me today 4. They pretty much just sent us samples of at least one of each grade of the paint that they're offering, and they offer 3 different grades of paint, it looks like. So we're just going to go down the list. I'm going to read you guys what they offer, and just the little kind of, I don't know what you would call it, pros, I guess, for their paint. So their top of the line stuff is called Anarchy, and the star points that they have are, it's the best paintball period with an exclamation point. It's a pearlized shell designed for rapid fire, 30 plus a second, no chopping. Seam designed to enhance flight trajectory. Most heavily used Nelson tournament paintball. I'm going to be honest with you guys, personally I'm not sure of any tournament series that's shooting Nelson paintball. Maybe smaller series, like, I don't know, not saying that CFPS uses it, but I would imagine it'd be smaller series like CFPS, not as big as PSP and MPPL, obviously, that are maybe shooting this stuff. Definitely not around here, nothing that I know of in the southeast. I took part in, CFPS, CFOA, all that kind of stuff, the Georgia stuff. I didn't see any Nelson paint. A lot of that seemed to be Draxus or Key stuff for the Empire RPS Shore. The next one down is Special Forces, and they have Elite Tournament Grade, originally designed for military training. Metallic shell simulates ammo casing, I guess. Designed for rapid fire, 30 plus a second, no chopping. Extreme accuracy. Clear shell, clear fill, available for training. 100% all PEG fill, and that's that eco-friendly stuff, which everybody's pretty much using at this point. 2 points I missed on the top one. I forgot to tell you guys. Thick, no white fill, and 100% PEG fill. That's the Anarchy. So going down third in line is the Hemorrhage. It's a consistent shell performance. Lowest price tournament paint, designed for fast fire, 20 plus per second, no chopping. Neon shell with neon fill, 100% all PEG fill. And then we have the Nell Splat, which is duly named for the marker. Breaks on target, not in the barrel. Field grade woods ball. 2-toned half shell silver. 5 bright colors, including red, and 100% PEG fill. On to the back, the last 2, going down the line. Dread, field grade woods ball, virgin shell, not quite sure what's up with that. Available in 3 colors, including white. Lowest priced field grade, all 100% PEG fill. And last is Hotspot, recreation grade blended shell, consistent size and shape for quality shells, 100% all PEG fill. So that's the types of paint that they're offering, and here's the list of the shell and fill color choices, categorized by the grade. The high-level tournament grade includes the Anarchy and Special Forces. The mid-level grade is the Hemorrhage and Nell Splat, and the entry-level field grade is Dread and Hotspot. So there's the paperwork out of the way. Now I've got 4 of these samples. They sent us the top stuff. Let's see if we can get the camera to zoom in on the name. It's Anarchy. As you can see, it's a solid yellow, excuse me, I'm colorblind today. Solid orange shell. So we got that. That's the highest stuff that they have. That's supposed to be the top tournament paint. I have the, let's see if I can actually get this in line going down correctly here. Special Forces. Hemorrhage. Okay. So next in line is the Nell Splat, and this is a silver and blue shell. So we've got that. And then second to last is Dread, and this is an all blue shell. And then this is the lowest stuff that they make according to their charts. This is Hotspot. It's a solid orange. It's a little bit more of a, I don't know, I guess you would call it like a matte orange, or just like a lighter kind of almost like peach color compared to the Anarchy. It seems to be like a bright metallic orange. So to shoot everything off today, I chose my gun that's probably going to be the softest on the paint. I've got the DM7. I've got a Gorilla 6845 that is at about 3,000, and I've got a die rotor. So I think everything's already on and we're ready to go. So I don't know if you can see out there in the back over there. See if I can. There it is. I got a little wood board set up. It's pressed plywood. It's about 4 layers thick. It's pretty solid, so we're not going to make any holes or do anything with it. So my plan is to take 1 or 2 shots, shoot it on the board. I'm going to bring the board back up to the camera, and I'm going to look at the viscosity of the paint, see how well it is, and see if any shell fragments are left over there, and just see how well, how decent of a paint it actually is. If it's staying on the board, if it's running a lot, too water-based, if it's nice and smooth filled, you know, stuff like that. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna shoot the Anarchy first. So I'm gonna grab a small handful here. I'm going to shoot a couple off into the woods, and I'm going to shoot probably 2 at the target that I have set up. So I got a handful, as you can see, down into the rotor. Turn the rotor on. Alright, those all seem to be down in there. And DM7 is reading that it has a ball in the breech, so we're just going to leave it on semi. Gonna take a few shots off into the woods, and we'll do 2 shots and onto the board, and then we'll see what happens. So I'm shooting at a stump that's pretty way off in the woods up there, and it seems to fly pretty well. It seems to be pretty accurate. So let's take 2 pop shots at this board and see how it is. All right. So actually, I clipped the top of the board, so it's going to be hard to see that one with that second shot. So let's do another one right at that top corner, if I can try. That one clipped the top of the board too. And my accuracy is just terrible today. Shows how good I am on the field. Alright, well that's all we got, so that was 1.5 shots we'll have to do for now, so let's go grab that board. So, alright, here's the board. So this is, again, that's the Anarchy, so you can see it's a pretty decent splatter. There's only 2 pieces of the shell. There's a piece of the shell from where it actually made the direct impact, and then there's a small shell fragment right there. It's pretty thick. It broke that kind of peach orange. It's pretty much the same color as the shell on the Hotspot stuff. So it seems pretty thick. It doesn't seem to be running at all. Just gonna wipe my fingers off here. So it seems like it's a pretty decent paintball, and it's got a pretty good spread. The splat, if I can kind of estimate, it's probably got about a good 2 or 3 inch spread in all directions. Splattered more up, but of course the board is leaning. Seems like a pretty decent paintball. Doesn't seem to be running at all. So we'll go back and take a look at that, see if it runs later on in the test. Put this back out here. And let's try the next paint. Next paint we have is the Nell Splat, going back to the sheet. Brakes on target, not in the barrel, woods ball grade, 2-toned, bright colors, blah 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 blah. This is mid-level woods ball grade. The Anarchy is the only high-level tournament grade that they sent us. So this is mid-level woods ball grade. So let's grab a handful. This paper's out of the way. Alright. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paintballs. Put that in the gun. So I'm going to shoot 4 into the woods, and then 2 at the target. Seems to fly pretty well. It was pretty straight. It was shooting long distances. Seemed to shoot just as well as that Anarchy. So let's take those 2 shots up the board. All right, so we got 2 in pretty decent spot. I got paint all over my hands from when I did the other one. Wipe that off somewhere. Alright, so here is that nail spot stuff, and as you can see, it's currently running. There's a tiny bit of shell fragment, not too much. So if you got hit with this, I wouldn't imagine that there'd be too much shell staying on your jersey, pants, wherever you got hit, whatever. It's really thin, almost like it's almost like oil. As you can see, that's running pretty well. You can see it move. So that runs pretty well. As far as I can tell, that would be pretty easy to wipe. It seems to be a little more water-based than the other stuff, the Anarchy, which still isn't running whatsoever. So it's definitely a lower grade. Like I said, a little easier to wipe, but you know, for woods ball rec play, it might not be so bad. So let's go put this back out there. Turn this board upside down so that doesn't interfere with the rest of the paint that we got. Alright, next up is the Dread. And I'm sorry that I'm off camera while I'm loading this, but this is field grade woods ball virgin shell. Not sure again what's up with that. Available in 3 colors, lowest price field grade paint. And the Dread, I have the Dread and the Hotspot left, and these are both listed as entry level field grade paint. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to take 7 shots into the woods and then 2 shots onto the target. So as you can see, they're pretty brightly colored. Now I tried rolling these all across a very level plane that I made sure was level, and they all seem to they don't have any dimples, anything like that. They seem to roll in a pretty straight line. So the shell seems pretty well, decently made. All right. Okay, so 7 shots into the woods. 1, 2. Seems to fly alright. It definitely not as good as the other stuff. It kind of curved a little bit there towards the end. Again, for woods ball messing around in the backyard, seems to be alright. So let's take 2 pop shots with this board. And that last one was popcorn, apparently. See if it reads that there's one. Yeah. Alright, the last one's in the breech. Alright. Go take a look at that. Okay. So here's the Dread paintball. As you can see, it's also starting to run. Pretty good size splatter. It's probably about 3 to 4 inches. And I think the UPS guys here or the FedEx guy. Let me go grab that package and I'll get right back. Sorry about that. It wasn't the UPS or the FedEx guy. It was just from the power station. He's just here to read the power meter. So let's get back to that paint. All right. Again, here's the dread, and I laid the board down flat so it's not running, but I picked up and it's already running again. So it seems to be a shell fragment at the spot where it hit. It's running pretty well. Shell fragment seems to have shattered. There's only one decent size fragment right here, right where it hit. Other than that, it seemed to shatter into millimeter size pieces. Now, this stuff is really, really thin, thinner than the last one we used. Definitely a little even more water-based. Again, though, the splat's pretty good size. It's a pretty noticeable blue. So for woods ball field grade stuff, you know, it might not be the most terrible thing in the world. See, as you can see, the other shot right here is just running straight down that board. So seems okay. The flight was a little off, so definitely a lower end rec ball paint. So let's go put the board up like this, so I try not to hit the other ones, and let's try that last stuff. Alright, the last stuff we got is the hot spot. This is the lowest grade they make. This is it says recreational grade, blended shell, consistent size and shape for quality shells. As I said, I did that little roll test, and they seem to roll okay. Just in a second here, we'll do a drop test right here at the side of the deck, and we'll see how these turn out. So I've got 5, so I'll do 3 shots into the woods and 2 shots onto the target. Shell seems pretty good, no dimples, nothing like that. So get those feeding. 3 shots into the woods. I'd say flight trajectory, it's about the same as that last stuff I used, the Dread. Not perfect, definitely not the Anarchy. Or like if you guys are used to, I'd say this stuff is kind of like heat from Key. It's probably right around that grade, maybe slightly lower. The heat at our park seems to shoot pretty well usually. So let's take 2 shots at this board and see how it is. And that last bowl popcorned. Let's get that in there. Alright, there it is. Alright, 2 right in about the same spot. Let's go grab the board again. Make sure I'm not grabbing paint. Alright. So there it is, this yellow stuff right at the top, and as you can see it's running even faster than the other stuff. Not too much of the shell. Wow, that's really, really running. Not too much of the shell left, only a little bit where it hit other than that. Millimeter sized fragments, just like the other stuff. Viscosity, that's really, really thin. Wow. Good size splat. It's a really dull yellow. That might be a little harder to see in the woods in this. You know, this that Dread is, as you can see, a really super bright blue. So it's a dull yellow, so that might not be the greatest thing for woods ball. It might be really hard to see. Just look at that stuff run. That's ridiculous. So this is definitely just like some off-field mess around in the backyard paint, maybe for more of tech purposes. If you're tuning a gun, something like that, I would use that. Other than that, I probably wouldn't use this for anything else. So there it is. Let's do a drop test on each of those and see how that turns out. Alright, so I'm gonna grab 2, see if we can angle the camera here so maybe you guys can see where I'm actually going to be dropping these. That's about good right there. Tighten that up. Okay. So we're going to be dropping them right here. Yeah, right there. So I'm about 5'3", so this is going to be about from 5 feet up. Here is the hot spot paintball. Pretty good little bounce going on right there. Here's another one from, let's do it a little higher, from about 6 feet up. And another bounce. So, get that off the porch. Let's grab the next in line, the Dread. This is the next step up. Also, field grade woods ball stuff. And that hotspot again, just to go back over it. And the Dread that I'm about to drop are both classified as field grade entry level. So here is one Dread paintball from 5 feet. Lots of bounce, no brakes. So pretty decently thick shell. And here's another one from 6 feet. Even more bouncing. Oh, that one looked like it might have cracked. Yep, it did crack. So we've got, I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, there it is, right on the camera. So you've got about a crack in the shell that's about 3 to 4 millimeters long. Other than that, the rest of the paintball held up pretty sturdy. So let's try the next stuff up. And this is going to be the Nell Splat paintball. And this is mid-level woods ball grade. Only need 2. Here's the Nell Splat paintball from 5 feet. That's a pretty clear break. Shell broke right in half, not along the seam, pretty much almost opposite of the seam. So there's that from 5 feet. Good break. And here's the Nell Splat paintball from about 6 feet. And that one is a bounce. So let's try one more of those Nell Splats just to see if they break. Because we had one break at 5 feet, one break at 6 feet. Let's try another one at 6 feet. So here's about 6 feet. And that didn't break. That was another bounce. It hit the corner of the board though. So let's try this one more time at 6 feet. And another bounce. So seems to be pretty hit or miss for that stuff. I got paint all over my nice pink teams, man. Alright, so last but not least, we got the Anarchy. This is the highest grade stuff they make. This is high level tournament grade. Grab 3 just in case. So here is Anarchy from 5 feet. Bounce. Anarchy from 6 feet. Bounce. Another Anarchy from 6 feet. Another bounce. Let's try one more time with a different paintball at 6 feet. Bounce. 6 feet. Bounce. So these seem to be pretty hit or miss. Definitely not as frail as a shell as like Draxus Gold or All Star. And like that, a lot of you guys are probably used to shooting. Let's see if we can get one of these Anarchies to break. I'm starting to think that Nell Splat break was just a fluke. That was a bounce from 6 feet, 6 feet again. Bounce, but that was a pretty lame bounce. That might have a crack in it. I'll check that in a second. And Anarchy again from 6 feet. Another bounce. Alright, so I'm starting to think that Nell Splat break was just a pure fluke. These don't seem to break too easy. And this Anarchy one that I said I'd look at doesn't seem to have a crack anywhere in it. It looks like it has a dimple from where I dropped it. And that's about it. Let's try a Nell Splat and an Anarchy. Here's the Nell Splat again from 6 feet. Break. Anarchy from 6 feet. That one broke. Okay, so one more time. Nell Splat paintball from 6 feet. Bounce. Anarchy paintball from 6 feet. Bounce. So these are only about a week and a half old. They're really fresh. We keep them in our humidity and temperature controlled paint room at about 63 degrees, 65 depending on how many times we're going in and out of the room. And these breaks seem to be pretty hit or miss. Obviously they broke in that wood plank that was only about 10 feet away. It looked like they broke on the stump up there that I shot. That stump is probably about 40 yards, I'd say. And they all seem to break except for the lowest grade, the hot spot. I don't think that one broke. That might have been a bounce. Of course, the stump is a little old and rotted, but it's still at 40 yards. You would expect a paintball to break if it's hitting something pretty solid. So it looks like brakes are pretty hit or miss with this stuff. Again, it's definitely not the quality that a lot of us are used to with RPS Shore, All-Star, Premium, Marbleizer, even Polar Ice this time of year in a lot of places. Even Heat, the field grade stuff. So my overall recommendation is, unless you know, if there's other stuff available, if there's Empire RPS stuff available, go with that. If not, it's not a bad paint to mess around in the backyard of the woods. I would not recommend shooting this at a tournament. This is all personal opinion, obviously. I would not recommend shooting this even for rec play at a park. If it's bring your own paint, I'd rather see someone else shooting something else that I know has good performance. The brakes seem to be pretty hit or miss. So that's about all I got for you guys. If you guys have any questions about the paint, we're not going to be talking to the Nelson Paint Company any further about this. That was never even a decision that we had to come to. We're just fine with the key stuff that we get, and we're never changing paint. There's no question about that. But again, if you guys have any questions about this, I can certainly find out. I can talk to our Nelson rep. I know they're not too big, so a lot of people might not have Nelson reps. So again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. If not, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tech stuff, this might be good for. That's about it. Thanks for watching, guys.